What is up, guys? How we doing? Today's just gonna be a casual chat video. Just wanted to talk about a couple things. First of all, welcome new subscriber. We got another one, and that's what I want to talk about. Is you guys have been so awesome this week, and I appreciate the encouragement. I appreciate how much attention that video got of me just, being vulnerable, saying thank you, talking about being out of ideas and whatnot, and your continuous support, and it really means a lot. I know yesterday's video was long, and honestly, all week long, I was not looking forward to making the video because that part stresses me out the most, and what stresses me out about the video itself is that it starts off at court. So like if you're watching me for the first time, then it's easy to watch 5 minutes of that hour-long video and assume. And that's kind of why I had to do this series in the first place. Is my letting go video was 30 minutes long of me trying to talk about all this, but the original video was actually an hour and a half long. And somebody commented something that was factually incorrect, that if you just watched the video would show you were factually incorrect, but he just watched 5 minutes of it, assumed how the rest of it was going to go, said something very inappropriate and mean, and then that made me lose 3 subscribers because of his comment, and so I had to delete it and then just come out with a quick summary of everything in the letting go video. And I'm grateful that the letting go video popped off and got the support that it did. But in a way, it is irritating that I came out with 2 videos saying the same thing. One was just longer and more in detail, and I lost subscribers for it. And then the next day come out with the same video, and it popped off. And so because of the fact that I had to summarize everything so quickly, I didn't feel like I really got it off my chest, and so I'm glad that now I've made 3 different videos. You basically got the short version of events and you got the long version of events, and it's all in the trauma dumping playlist, and I think it clocks in at 2 hours of me talking about the divorce, and I finally feel like I got it all out there. And it means a lot that you guys care and watched. And my trauma dumping playlist, my goal is for that playlist to be my life story. And the only thing missing now is talking about my childhood. And give me some time. That's going to be a hard one for me to make. Not only that, but it's going to be a very long video. I've briefly touched on my childhood a little bit, but to try to summarize living with 13 different dudes and all the shit that I went through as a kid, I just don't see how I could make it a video that's going to be under an hour. It'll probably be 2 hours, to be honest with you, but it's probably the most important video I'll ever make, in my opinion. And it just means a lot that you guys care. And, I know yesterday's video was long and a tough watch, and if you didn't watch the first 2 parts, why you might jump to certain conclusions, but I don't know, I feel like a weight's been lifted. I finally talked about it in detail, got it out, and I appreciate it. And now we can move on. Interestingly enough, I actually had a customer today that gave me some decent advice. So at the end of the video yesterday, I talked about how I don't know if I want to date again, because while this relationship helped me become who I think I need to be for whoever I may meet in the future, it made me become a better person. I talked about how I'm worried about dating because the chances of actually working out with somebody for the rest of your life are slim to none, and I'm worried about dating somebody and us breaking up in 10 years and Persephone having to deal with that, or dating somebody and we fight all the time and Persephone has to deal with that. But if I never date, then I could be missing out on the one that I could spend the rest of my life with. And I had a customer today who was in recovery, and I get a lot of customers here that are in recovery because they have a program where Uber like basically does rides for them. And so I always tell them, you know, like, good for you, and open up about the fact that I'm in recovery myself. And I actually said that to this older woman who had to be a single parent with 3 kids, and I basically said that to her about I don't know what to do when it comes to dating. Like, I feel like to keep Persephone emotionally safe, the best thing to do would just be stay single for the rest of my life. And she said that, you know, there is a risk, yeah, you know, that she could end up, that we could break up and she could have to deal with that emotional loss, but there could also be a lesson in that for her. There could be a lesson in not only grieving and dealing with that loss, but watching her dad grieve and deal with that loss, and could help her emotionally prepare for when she dates and has to go through a breakup. And I just never really looked at it that way, and it was honestly really good advice that I needed to hear. And I'm in no way, shape, or form ready to date anytime soon, but I just thought that was an interesting way of looking at it, you know? And yeah, she gave me some decent advice there, and I appreciate that. And that's one reason why I love rideshare, the job, is I love being able to interact with customers and be open with them and talk about these things with them, you know? And we also talked about, you know, that point when your child gets old enough that they don't need you anymore, which I think about every day, and how that, like, that emptiness of, you know, now your kid's an adult and, you know, they're going off, they don't need you anymore, and, you know, you can still be close, yeah, but like it's now you have this like emptiness, you know, and that's what kick-started her addiction. And that getting a partner, dating, you know, could help in that moment, you know. And so I don't know, she just really gave me advice that made me look at things a little bit differently when it came to dating, and you know, kind of encouraged me to not just go the rest of my life with being single. And I do think about that a lot. I mean, I'm Persephone's hero, you know, and there is going to be a day where she doesn't need me anymore, and time flies, and yeah, that's going to be emotionally, you know, like, and I've got to think about myself just as much as her, is what she said. And, you know, so I don't know, just advice I needed to hear, especially after everything I said yesterday. I just appreciate you guys. It's been a really cool week. It's been awesome seeing you guys give each other advice, asking me for advice, wanting and waiting for me to make certain videos, and that my videos are inspiring people. And that just means a lot. And I'm trying to lean more in that direction of giving advice and talk about more inspirational things, I guess, than politics and divisive content, you know? Don't get me wrong, there will still be that every now and then, but I like that with some of the knowledge and wisdom I've got from the pain that I've been through, I'm able to offer some sort of advice to people with that. It wasn't all in vain. You know, if it helps one person, then that's awesome. And it's not only helping people, but it's helping me to talk about it. So thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable and caring, you know? And I'm excited moving forward. I am going to stream tonight. I know every single time I have said I'm going to stream tonight, something happens and I can't stream. Tonight, I'm streaming. I don't know what time, so I'm not going to give you an exact time, but probably 10 to midnight Central, you know. So if you're in Cali, that would be, you know, 8 to 10 or whatever. And yeah, so I am going to stream, probably play some Fortnite. The thing that sucks about Twitch is when my last friend was joining the Twitch, she hung out with me for like a week, and it was fun. And I will always be grateful for that. We just had a good time, and just talked about our lives, talked about being parents, and it was nice. It was really nice and that's what I love about YouTube. I guess how I look at it is it's a way for you to get to know somebody and hang out with them live if you want to, and kind of make a friend, you know? And I've just always loved that idea, and that's why I started doing it, was to make friends. And Twitch, you know, watching me play Fortnite isn't the most fascinating thing. I get mad at the game a lot, and it's kind of hard to read comments because my setup isn't very great. And it does this stupid thing where, like, if you don't message for like 5 minutes and you send a message, I don't get it, and you have to refresh the page and send the message again, which I can 100% see why that would be annoying for people to watch and them not want to. But yeah, I'll be streaming some Fortnite tonight, and we had a decent day. We had a WIC appointment and worked a half day. We're taking tomorrow off, so we technically worked 6 days this week. We're trying to shift our schedule, from Sundays and Mondays off to Fridays and Saturdays off, but I figured since we had to get up anyway and go to this WIC appointment, we might as well work, because that's not really much of a day off since we had to get up early and go to this WIC appointment. So we're going to take tomorrow off, get back Sunday, hopefully put in a good week Sunday to Thursday, and then, you know, take Friday and Saturday off until July, because Fridays and Saturdays just aren't it right now. But our week looks good, you know. Somehow I'm averaging $1.25 a mile and $20 an hour. I don't know how, just being good at my job. A bulk of it's actually coming from Instacart, and Instacart's, yeah, really saving my ass, because Uber, not only did they cut our pay by 30%, not only did they make it to where most orders aren't worth accepting now, but the whole Trip Radar thing is bullshit. You're not getting more orders. You're seeing more orders, but they don't go to you. They go to the closest person in proximity. So it doesn't make any sense. It's not like it goes to every driver, but it was always meant to go to the closest person in proximity, just like before. So it's a trick. It's to make you think you're seeing more orders, when in reality, not only are you now having to decline more orders, but now you're getting less of them because they're all coming through on Trip Radar, and you're not getting them because you're not the closest person and was never going to get it to begin with. So good job, Dara. Hey, we cut your pay and brought you more ride opportunities. My ass. Anyway, that's all I got for you. I love you guys. I really appreciate you tuning in, and you keep me excited to make more videos, you know. And I know this is kind of a nothing burger of a video. I'm just kind of trying to chat, talk about the week and a bunch of other things. But thank you for watching these deep, personal videos, and thank you for, you know, just being there. And, you know, if you guys ever need anything, you need any advice, you ever want me to do a video on something, feel free to let me know, and I'll do it. But love you guys. Bye.